They became famous before they even understood what fame was. Crowds screaming their names, millions watching their every move. From the outside, it looked like a dream. But behind the spotlight, it was something else entirely. It was hard for me being that young and not knowing where to turn. We need our respect. Those are things you have to have as a human. And some of them didn't make it out. Fame too early, and the cost no one talks about. Child stars aren't new, but what people don't talk about is the price. Because when fame comes too early, it doesn't just build you, it can break you. Today, we're not just talking about success, we're talking about what happens after the applause fades. The rise and fall of Kris Kross. They were just kids, 12 and 13, when Jump took over the world. 8 weeks at #1. Touring with Michael Jackson. Fame came fast. Too fast. They wore their clothes backwards. They became icons overnight. But here's the truth. They were still children, trying to handle an adult world. How does that work when you gotta pee? We just drop our pants. People laughed. But behind the jokes, they were being thrown into something they weren't ready for. When the fame disappears. And then, it stopped. They grew up. Their voices changed. The industry moved on. Just like that. Chris Kelly went from global superstar to forgotten. His appearance changed. Fans noticed. Rumors spread. He revealed alopecia. But that wasn't the real battle. The real battle was inside. It felt like people turned their backs on him. And when the spotlight disappeared, so did the support. The end of Chris Kelly. Addiction took over. Pain filled the silence. One phone call. One conversation. Man, I don't want to hear that. Hours later, he was gone. An overdose.
Just like that. From the top of the world to nothing. Aaliyah, controlled from the start. She was only 12 when she entered the industry. Young. Talented.
And surrounded by people with power. That's when she met R. Kelly, a mentor. At first, then something else. Her album, Age Ain't Nothing But a Number. Think about that. Now think about her age. 15. When they got married, 27. For him, it wasn't love, it was control. We're not related at all, no, we're just very close. That's how it looked from the outside. But behind the scenes, it was something darker. A life controlled, ANDA final warning ignored. She broke free, cut ties, rebuilt her life. But something still wasn't right. On August 25, 2001, she didn't want to get on that plane. She said it, she felt it. But no one listened. The plane was overloaded. The pilot wasn't even properly licensed. There were substances in his system. And still, they took off. She never woke up. 22 years old, gone. Because when you grow up in an industry like that, sometimes you're never given the chance to say no. Bow Wow. When success stops meaning anything. He was 6 when Snoop Dogg saw him. A child on stage, rapping like a star. By 13, he was famous. By his 20s, he had done everything. And that's where it became dangerous. Because when you reach the top too early, what's left? I'd unlapped the world 8 times. What else is there for me to do? That's not success. That's emptiness. The moment he almost gave up. You really wanted to kill yourself? Yeah, there's been times. That's the part people don't see. The part behind the fame. Where nothing feels exciting anymore. Where everything feels like repetition. Where even success feels meaningless. Britney Spears' fame turned into a cage. She became a global icon at 17, but her story started much earlier. Auditions at 8, fame by 11, pressure from the beginning. And then, the media. Asking her questions no child should ever hear. Everyone's talking about it. Your breasts. She wasn't a person anymore. She was a headline, a product, a target. The breakdown the world watched, the moment everything snapped. She shaved her head, not for attention, for control, for one moment of silence. Then came the umbrella incident. Paparazzi everywhere, no escape. And then, the conservatorship. Her life, controlled for 13 years. I feel bullied, I feel alone. That wasn't drama. That was a cry for help. Freedom, but at what cost? She eventually broke free, took her life back. But the damage? Still visible. Because once fame breaks you like that, you don't just go back to normal. Justin Bieber, a child in a global spotlight. He was 13 when the world found him. No training, no protection, just millions of eyes, watching everything, judging everything, mocking him, even in interviews, treating him like a joke. You smell amazing, how old are you? Awkward, uncomfortable, wrong. The dark side he couldn't escape. The pressure built. The hate grew. And eventually, he broke. Substances, scandals, police, everything spiraled. I felt like I was dying. People don't know how serious it got. That's what fame does when it comes too early. The warning he gave. After surviving it, he said something powerful. I don't want her to go through what I went through, talking about younger artists, trying to protect them, because he knew the truth. Fame doesn't care how young you are. Final message. These stories aren't just about celebrities, they're warnings. Because fame isn't always a dream. Sometimes it's pressure, control, loneliness, and silence. And the most dangerous part? The world sees the spotlight, but never the damage behind it. If this changed the way you see fame, hit like, subscribe, and tell me in the comments, which story should we uncover next? Because there are more stories like this, and they need to be heard. I'll see you in the next one.